My name is Grace Bwenje. A lot of emphasis has been put on hand washing using soap in order to prevent the coronavirus infection. And I'm here to give you the scientific reasoning, the scientific basis actually on how this soap actually kills the virus. A lot of debate is out there to substantiate on how, whether it is washing using soap or using alcohol-based solutions to kill the virus. But I'm here to give you more light on how actually the soap practically kills the virus. And this is the scientific reasoning. But for us to understand this, it is very important to know the makeup, the composition of both soap and the virus. And I'll begin with with the virus. The virus is made up of three components. One is the genetic material. The genetic material is made up of RNA. RNA is a ribonucleic acid. Humans are made up of DNA, but small organisms of lower divisions like viruses are made up of RNA. RNA is weak genetic material. Okay. Now the RNA is encapsulated in a protein coat called capsid. Okay. And then there's a protective out layer made up of lipids. You may say fats, but fats are part of lipids. We have waxes and so forth. So, three components. The genetic material, which is actually the virus, the protein coat, and then also the lipids, which is the outer layer, the protective coat. Now, what's made of soap? Soap, its main composition is sodium hydroxide, what you may call caustic soda. But then also, when you're making soap, you add in fat. And majorly, you can use palm oil, you can use animal fat, and so forth. Now, so soap is a composition of sodium hydroxide, caustic soda, and then fat. Now, to understand the reaction between soap and the virus, this is what we will look at now. There's something called amphipathic characteristics. What amphipathic characteristics? Soap has molecules which have both hydrophilic and hydrophobic characteristics. What are these? Being hydrophobic means that you don't love water. Actually, I remember in school we had the people whom we used to call being hydrophobic. That's hate for water. There's no reaction between that part of the molecule with water. Then we have what we call the hydrophilic part of it. Hydrophilic loves the water. Okay? Now, but in this case, we are now going to discuss the fat component. Now remember, the virus, I told you, has a protective coat. You know, people have showed debate on actually how the soap actually dissolves the virus. And this is the basis now. When you look at the molecules of soap, they have similar characteristics as the coat of the virus. Now, the coat of the virus is made up of lipids, like I told you. Now, the soap molecules are actually, one end is polarized, another end is non-polarized. And the long hydrocarbon, remember the fat is the long hydrocarbon. The long hydrocarbon is non-polarized, okay? And it has a polarized end, the other side, the salt part of it, which actually dissolves in water. Now, these soap molecules come and attack the virus coat. So the fat-loving end, in this case, the long hydrocarbon tails, react. Actually, they compete with they penetrate the lipid coat. How? Because they are able to attract each other. But this is what happens. Now, when they come and react with the lipid coat, they leave the surface of the virus charged, giving a charge. The different molecules are charged, but they are being given a similar charge. In most cases, it is a negative charge. Now, if something is negatively charged and the other is also negatively charged, they now actually oppose each other. So when they oppose each other, the virus molecules, I'm talking about the lipids, when they oppose each other, now the water, the other part of it, now has chance to penetrate those gaps created, because they are competing against each other and they are moving out of position. So now in this case, if it was, say, for other practicalities like washing clothes, something like an immersion is caused. Now this is where, when you have lots of water after you've interacted with the soap, that's when now the virus goes off. But why do we have to wash for 20 minutes and above? That time when you're washing, you're increasing on your reaction time. It is not a simple reaction, so it takes time. So every time you're taking it, you're washing, you make sure you take time, 20 minutes, 20 seconds and above. So we do that to increase the reaction time, to increase the exposure of the virus to the soap. I thank you very much.